is just me ranting, and everybody now knows how I feel. I think the recent dead now know how I feel. So I'm done. Okay. Anyway, wanted to talk about this. So, Drunk 3PO reported that Taika Waititi said recently that his Star Wars movie's in the air because of restructuring and reorganization at Lucasfilm. But Kathy's fine. She's not going anywhere. So this is another bit of evidence. All right, public evidence. Hey, Jeremy, what do you want? Again, I don't have a box of crayons, so I can't exactly explain it to you in a language that people would understand, the people who are naysayers. This is how it's going to come out. Okay, now I haven't gone to look at Pablo's recent Facebook, or Twitter, but you've got Taika Waititi saying this. What does that mean for Kevin Feige's movie? He hasn't said anything. Look, developing a movie is meaningless until a cast is set, director's chosen, the writers are done with the script, and the shooting schedule is out there, and the cameras start rolling. Okay, pre-production is on its way. Okay, so this doesn't surprise me. It looks to me like they put everything except for, Book of Boba Fett on hold. Okay, why? Well, it's public knowledge. Lucasfilm is restructuring. Why? I thought it was perfect, according to, a guy who calls himself RK. I thought she wasn't going anywhere. I thought it was perfect. So why are they restructuring? Again, just another public nail in the coffin of the opinions of the naysayers. When there's so much going on. There's so obvious. I labor under the idea that there are people out there that don't want it to happen. They really don't want it to happen. I also understand that there are people who are die-hard, bleeding heart, die on this hill, dead enders for the EU that won't accept anything other than a by rote telling of the EU, the entire thing. That's not how, if you're thinking about feature films, you wouldn't get that anyway. And there's enough that wrong with the EU that even people who like it hey, John 42, I don't know, Jeremy. I really, really don't. You guys can ask me questions and I'll try to answer them as best I can. I didn't know that Taika Waititi's name was David Cohen, but it's Taika D. Cohen. No, he's not indigenous. He's a phony. Okay, I have never liked him. The picture I got of him is basically there for the thumbnail. Is basically he looks like the goddamn Joker. He's a weirdo. Okay, he did a really good job with his episode of Mandalorian. So, and I saw Jojo Rabbit and I thought it was a pretty good movie. So, he's a good director. He's just a weirdo. He's a weird guy, but this is all very interesting to me that he would say this, does it mean that Kevin Feige's movie's up in the air? Probably. If they're, they could work on the scripts, fine, but they're not doing anything with them until they figure out what's happening. And I look for oust. I look at another outburst from the Ruin Johnson debacle that he's got a trilogy. I look for that because that's the way they troll people, and so I'm looking for that. But as far as them making any feature films with anybody, it looks like right now Lucasfilm is not. And it looks like a heavy duty dose of a restructuring. I think we're going to get a storm. It said not till 9, but we got a dark cloud coming. Well, we need the rain. So I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, we've got Forbes, the leak from Reddit, Variety. We've got Dave Filoni, his promotion being announced, and this Taika Waititi thing. You know, gee, that's weird. They're restructuring, but everything's okay there. Disney's happy with what's going on. I mean, the person who posted this, Drunk 3PO, Jay knows better. Jay posts this, and I know he's a naysayer. It's like, you just basically undercut everything you think by posting this. I'm like, so, but anyway, yeah, this is I think kind of big news. I think it's big news. And it's public, it's out there. And we just got to see where it goes. I mean, I'm patient. I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't even hazard a guess to what he was working on. I mean, but again, right now we've got more news on what could be the Indiana Jones script than we've ever had. I mean, solid stuff, I think, compared to what we ever got on Star Wars until the entire script for The Force Awakens was given to Doomcock practically. Or not The Force Awakens, but The Rise of Skywalker. So, I don't know. I mean, it's just really, yeah, I know, Troy, but I don't really, he's a comedian, so God knows what he meant by that, or if he was joking. I mean, he's just a weird dude. I mean, just look at that picture. It's like, dude, you're weird. You're really a very strange guy. Of course, my favorite story about him is he got in trouble for having a three-way kiss with, oh God, I can't remember the actresses. He's dating one of them and the other one's just a friend. I saw the picture and I'm like, that's so gross. That is so freaking gross. That, I'm sorry. I don't care if you're into that. I don't need to see that. It's kind of like, oh, Amelia Clark, Queera, doing or being part of a comic book where it's a superhero single mom who can swing via her armpit hair, turn invisible, and her period gives her superpowers. Do you know how gross that is? Do you understand? I'm looking at this going, we're getting rain now. Yeah, it's coming. I don't know if we're getting any thunder, but yeah, it is disgusting. I mean, what do you mean, Pablo? And okay, we're standing next to him with a gun to his head. I don't understand that. It's so gross. I can't even. And I'm gonna say this about Amelia Clark. There are a lot of guys who watch Game of Thrones who thought she was cute. She's a mouse. She's a little tiny, skinny, little ratty mouse. Okay. Hear the rain? Yeah, well, we needed it, so anyway. And I just can't deal with her. So, and then, yeah, it is, it's gross. I mean, as a woman, I find it insulting. I find it, no, Jeremy, he's a comedian. What he actually meant. I mean, those guys know exactly how the fans feel about this, and they know how pissed off the fans were. You know, I mean, oh yeah, okay. They know how the fans feel about it. And he was just trying to piss off people and be funny, in my opinion. He's a moron. I do have a friend that met him, my friend Martha Cotton, and she said he's really nice. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know the guy. But I do know I think he's a strange duck. I mean, I think he could probably have like a normal conversation with Quentin Tarantino, who, by the way, is retiring from movies. At least that's what he says. But, which is too bad. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is such a great movie. It really is. But, and you know what I'm saying? But Waititi, it's like you kind of look at him like, just looking at him kind of makes you go, what the hell is that? I mean, what is this guy? Who is this guy? You know what I'm saying? It's just really kind of bizarre. So anyway, I don't know. I don't know. And we'll just have to see. Anyway, what else is going on? You know, the Emilia Clarke thing, I'm sorry. You know, first off, a lot of women are offended by talking about it. And these feminists, they're just disgusting. They're disgusting and gross and bleh. And it's not cool. It is not. It's a normal thing that happens once every month, but ew, you know, it's really, really, really offensive. And you know, but I'm gonna tell you something. I've got friends who dated actresses before, and they sit there and look at you very bluntly and say actresses are insane. There you go, Emilia Clarke. And it doesn't shock me that little Queera, Danny, would embrace the sus. This is what they do. And they don't realize that to the average chick reading that, they're insulting that woman because she doesn't look at that as something empowering. It's just something that happens. You know, having your own comic book is, unless you're Keanu Reeves, or even, you know, Sylvester Stallone, is just, wow, cool. You know, especially since she's not writing it, she's only put her name on there. She liked the idea, you know, because women power, and it's just like, oh God. You know, you know, feminists just need to go away. They really do. They just need to go, you know, have their little utopia on another planet and leave the rest of us alone. Because I can't deal with it anymore. And it's always them. They always come up with this most disgusting, hey Dave, icky things. And it's like, you know, so I can't. Anyway, what else is going on? Yeah, just the Taika Waititi thing and the fact that it's yet another bit of proof that LFL is changing. Okay. You know, it's very interesting to me watching the public stuff. And, you know, this is very interesting. I want to say this. The stream that Gary put up about everything that happened, he took it down. EVS took his down. So I don't know what was done or said, but makes you wonder, which is a good thing. They shouldn't have done that anyway. I took several down. But that was just because, you know, I felt like I said stuff that I shouldn't have in public. You know, and people know how I feel. I mean, I'm not shocking anybody by this. But anyway, it's just very interesting. Um, you know, I think that if the restructuring is going, and I'm going to say this, I think a lot of the stuff that they put on hold has to do with the restructuring and people leaving, people coming. I mean, I think the whole company is changing. Okay, I really, really do. I just get a feeling. I haven't. In fact, I should probably go to see what Matt Martin and Frau Hidalgo are saying. But very little leaks. We had Ming Na Wen talking about Samuel L. Jackson, and that if he shows up, that'll be interesting because Boba Fett hates him. But I got a sneaking suspicion we'll see Han Solo in that. I do. I don't know why, I just do. But I also have a sneaking suspicion we're going to see Solo in Andor, a young version years before A New Hope. So, I don't know how or how they're going to do it, but my spidey senses are telling me that is a possibility. Okay, it's just a possibility. Haven't heard any more about what I've been told, but it'll be interesting to see what happens. Thanks, Bone. Yeah, you can't really change personnel and lay people off and you know buy out their contracts and not have a change of culture. You can't. The fact that all this is going on while Kennedy's off in England producing Indiana Jones when she couldn't be bothered to do any of that for Star Wars is hilarious. Okay, it really is. I mean, I'm like, oh, really? Okay, it just goes to show you, again, who said it? Jason Hunt, that she actually got her first production credit for Raiders of the Lost Ark. So, and if this is the last movie, she wants to be there. So who knows? Her and her husband both. And I like Frank. I'm going to be honest. I really, really like Frank. I don't know what it is between them, but you can never tell. Okay. But, maybe she is good at that job, but she's not a good studio head. She's just not. And, she has her name on a production credit for, Solo, and then didn't watch any of the dailies. Didn't see any of them. You think you'd go and watch those. You think you'd be on top of it. There's micromanaging like Ronald Reagan did, but then he always had people who were competent. And then there's micromanaging Kathy Kennedy style. She couldn't be bothered. Okay. And now we got what we've got. The thing about it is, you guys, we're not gonna really know, I think, anything solid about her till October, but I have a sneaking suspicion that publicly we're gonna hear something about the story group. We're gonna hear some personnel changes, and we're gonna be very happy. Okay, it has to happen. Again, Disney can't afford it anymore. They can't afford the bullshit. Okay, the idea that people actually think that nothing's changing is ludicrous. To me, it just makes people look stupid. I hate to say that. No, I don't. I don't at all. It just does. It's like, yes, Disney can afford to have more flops and to have merchandise not sell and to have people disappointed in Galaxy's Edge and not want to go. Yeah, what a great idea. What a great business plan. But when you don't look at the world in a pragmatic way, in a practical way, in a way that somebody who looks at finance and numbers does, and because they're worried about budgets and stock share prices and keeping investors happy. I'm telling you, you got to think about that. And if you're not, I can't really. How do you get through to people like that? Vader fanatic for life. They probably do, but it's about 9 million lower than they thought they would, and their subscribers have basically tapered off. Okay, they've plateaued, and Iger said Disney Plus is not going to be profitable until about 2024. It's going to be lucky if it's profitable, and they need 200 million subscribers. They need that. Okay. And I don't see that coming anytime soon. If I woke up in the morning and saw 150 million subs, I'd be like, cool. But you got to remember, there's so many streaming services out now. The Gina Carano thing, the fact that Disney people want to watch, I can't, Bad Batch is adequate, but it's not going to bring people to the service. Not like Mandalorian did. They need stuff like that. They need stuff like, well, Angelique, I don't think it ever was. It was, Iger basically said it is not going to be profitable until 2024. So, you've got, it's 103, and they were, at the last investors call, they were far below what they thought they would have. Okay, they give, what they do is they give an estimate. It's like, the projection, and they did not touch it at all. They didn't. And that's bad. That's bad for Disney. The parks aren't earning any money. I don't think the cruise ships are running yet. Of course, the movies, no one's gonna see Cruella who wants to empathize with someone who wants to wear Dalmatian puppy fur coats. You know, they're in a cul-de-sac. And, this isn't even about Lucasfilm. They're in a cul-de-sac just with that. And then they've got, Lucasfilm. Yeah, and it's not really, when you think about it, if they're not, what they projected was, I think, 110 million subscribers, and they got, barely 100 million. And Bob Chapek was very blunt about it. And it's like, okay, well, you guys are in trouble. But, the reason why Iger hasn't really left Disney is because of Lucasfilm. He's probably the one overseeing restructuring. And, that's the thing. There's stuff going on we haven't heard. I'm really, really sick and tired of people saying nothing good. They're not, nothing, Kathy's not leaving. When you've got Taika Waititi now saying they're restructuring and my movie's up in the air. Why would they need to restructure if she's so perfect? If she's the most powerful woman in Hollywood? And, people will report that and say they're restructuring and then unironically say she's not leaving. Oh God, no kidding, Mazurus. Again, this is the most, you gotta understand, we're talking about passive aggressive bullshit going on. And a lot of people, you got to be patient. It's slowing down the Titanic. Okay, it's oh yeah, you're right, Troy. I mean, the reality is there. But I've said this before. I'll say this again. There are people that don't want it to happen. Okay, they don't want it to happen because it will give them nothing to talk about when they talk about Lucasfilm. A lot of channels are built on hatred of the sequel trilogy. Okay, a lot of channels were, and I mean, Family Guy did a great show where the coyote finally catches a roadrunner and eats him, and then realizes he has nothing left to live for. It's kind of like that. Okay, if you think about it. Okay, if there's always something you can be mad about, you'll always have something to talk about. You'll always another story, and this is from the movie Conspiracy, which was about the Wannsee Conference, where people, men that were in the German high command, Reinhard Heydrich, Adolf Eichmann, Ernst Kaltenbrunner, Roland Freisler, all these people went to this beautiful house on Wannsee Lake in Berlin. I've been there. I've seen it. I did a tour there. It's a beautiful house. You can't believe it. The movie is worth checking out, renting out on pay-per-view just because it's worth watching. Stanley Tucci plays Reinhard Heydrich, or Adolf Eichmann, and Kenneth Branagh plays Heydrich. And one of the guys, this guy who was not happy with what they were doing and was trying to kind of put, we shouldn't be doing this, told General Heydrich a story. He knew a man who loved his mother, and he hated his father, hated him. And when the mother died, he didn't cry. When the father died, he was inconsolable. All right, think about it. Think about what that might mean. Okay. You never, that's what they're worried. That's what they're, I mean, again, it's that Coyote Roadrunner Family Guy thing and that story. If the thing you hate is gone, what is it? What else? What is there? What else is there? You know what I'm saying? You gotta watch the movie and watch that part because it's a very great moment, and it's a very wise kind of statement, I think. Which is why when I talk about, I almost feel like talking about Kennedy right now like she's in the past, because in my opinion, she already is. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I don't waste my time. I'm watching Hidalgo. I'm looking at the public stuff. I'm watching the finances. I'm doing all that stuff. I'm looking to see what other people are saying. Taika Waititi, Kevin Feige. Oh no, I would never go to Star Wars. That's Kathy's. All right. And they're singing the overview and they're singing her praises. It's the kiss of death. Okay, that is, I knew it was you, Fredo. You broke my heart. From Bob Chase to her. But everybody else, they've got it, that's what they're going to do. I don't know, Vader fanatic. I know that they're not currently starting filming Mandalorian season 3, but I suspect that'll start up pretty soon. And she could walk on any time. I mean, when people say, "Oh no, she'll never come back," I'm going to say this. Like I said before, she owes a lot of people a debt of gratitude. fans, people who went to bat for her when this all happened, people who wiped the Academy Awards channel here on YouTube clean, okay? She owes them a debt of gratitude. And if she's offered a good contract, a good one, by Bob Chapek, and is asked by Jon Favreau and maybe even Lucas himself to come back, and she says, no, I'm done. I'm done. And I don't think she would, but I'm telling you this right now. We're going to learn that this franchise doesn't revolve around a character that was just introduced who's actually a side character, okay? There are only 4 that matter. 5. Han, Leia, Luke, Anakin, Padme. That's it. That's it. It's Anakin's story. And those are the 4 people that, you know, are part of that. Okay? And 6, Obi-Wan Kenobi. All right? That's it. I mean, you know, so when people start going on and on about Gina, it's like, look, you know what? The franchise shouldn't live or die because of her, okay? I don't like what happened to her. I went to bat for her. I would tell her if you could call back and the ding dong, the witch is dead and her flying monkeys are with her, and you say no to that, my respect is gone. Gone. And your respect for her should be gone too. I'd recast her. You know, I get Ronda Rousey to play the part. She's a good actress. I mean, she's been in movies. I get somebody else. I mean, there's no reason, you know, again, what happened to Gina was bullshit and it never should have happened. And it should have almost been illegal, what they did to her, okay? At the same time, I caution people not to put all their eggs in one basket or not to let her decision be your decision, if you know what I mean. You got to decide for yourself if you want to continue. Being with Bacon, Star Wars will be just fine with Dave Filoni. Okay? All right? Where do these people come from? Anyway, he's actually one of us. The guy hasn't set foot in Lucasfilm proper in about 3 years, okay? He doesn't follow Pablo. He has nothing to do with any of those guys. Yeah, see. Yeah, oh yeah, I mean, I agree with that one, Mace. I hadn't heard from her about Gina Carano until The Mandalorian either. You know, you've got to understand that role gave her a fan base. I don't watch UFC. The last time I watched it, Ronda Rousey got her ass kicked, and I was like, well, there goes that. If I'm at a gym and I'm working out and they've got the guys up there, I'll watch because I think it's fun, but I'm not, you know, I'm not invested in it, even though right now, the way football is going and the way baseball is going, and now they're attacking decent people in horse racing, I feel like maybe I should start watching UFC and have and start a fan movement for somebody. You know, I don't know, but but I gotta say that, you know, I didn't know who she was. I don't think any of us did. So she owes those guys a lot. She owes you guys a lot. Okay. That being said, if she says no to those guys, I'm done with her. They could always get somebody else to play the role. There's no reason why. Okay, there's no reason why. You know, somebody who's hungry for the work. Okay, Katie Sackhoff, you know, she is paying her dues. I, yeah, I know, but again, I didn't watch it. Yeah, Maze, these contract writers, you sign a contract with the company to do something for them, and then you embarrass yourself and say stupid shit, which is exactly what they're doing. In fact, High Republic put out another video on the I Hear Thunder Star Wars website. They're not, I don't think it's on here. I don't know. I'll check later. But it's, they're, no one wants it. I mean, it's garbage, and I think Disney knows it. We all know it. I mean, I'm like, whatever, dudes, whatever. So anyway, but as far as the Taika Waititi thing, this is just another indication that something is going on. More smoke. More smoke. The restructuring, it's one of those things where you wish you could actually be a little fly on the wall in the meeting and listen to what's going on, what's being said, because it would be very interesting. It would, if there was a Sony, if there was a hack like they did with Sony for Lucasfilm, oh my God, that would be so like, holy shit, because you probably learn a lot about the way things were run or not run and how incompetently it was. But yeah, there's now more smoke coming up. And anyway, so I just thought I'd jump in here and talk about that because at least it's not about bad stuff. So now we're right back to where we were, talking about what could be happening. It is really just amazing watching this all kind of come about. Watching all this happen. And we've just got to have faith. We really, really do. We've got to have a little bit of faith. And we got to be patient. Because it's going to happen. It has to. Again, I ask you, if you're a doubter, look at the money. Okay? Look at where money is. Okay? And oh yeah, I mean, Family Starship, yeah. I mean, and they've done it themselves. They did it to themselves. Um, I don't know who this Bean with Bacon is, but he's here to cause trouble. And since I can moderate right now that there's not as many, not yet. There's no video. Diamond Plate. What are you talking about? No, I haven't read them. If I get them, I'm going to get them used so I don't give them any money. Okay. I don't want to give them Howdy Man Piranha. I don't want to give that group any money. Here's something we got to think about. All right, let's say like they decanonize everything. They go back to square one. And you still have a very bad person at Disney Publishing, this angry, fat, ginger female, and she's fat, named Jennifer Heddle, who went on a rant about how much she hated Luke on Twitter. And it's very interesting to me. I was like, you do Star Wars and you hate Luke Skywalker, okay? And I had it out with her. I mean, I've had arguments with Gail Simone, was it Renfamous, and this large person. And she's another one that needs to go, because she's the one that actually got Claudia Gray and got Justina Ireland and Daniel Jose Older, the hacktivists, the Wokistanians who write those trashy books we can't wait to see go away. And it's, so she has to go. I mean, if I was, if I had Bob Chapek's here, I'd tell him, I'd show him her Twitter account. I'd show him what she said. She's the person who does the publishing for Disney for Star Wars. This is what she said, okay, about the hero of the original trilogy. The fans were in an uproar. She has to go, okay, because no good can come of keeping her on, okay. And it's just very interesting to me if they're restructuring Lucasfilm. Hopefully, maybe they're restructuring publishing, because right now publishing is in a real cul-de-sac anyway. People aren't buying books like they used to. It's very, very hard to get a publishing house even interested in reading your book, even if it's good. My own mother-in-law has published her own book, and it's a good book. I mean, she did a good job. Independent publishing like that is where it's at right now. And it's just another sign that establishment companies aren't doing as well, that people aren't interested in what they're selling. Okay. So, being on top of that is probably maybe putting that out there, that maybe, Jennifer Heddle should go too, would be a good job. Would be a good thing to start. I mean, I don't know, kick the hornet's nest. We do quite often here, okay? Because she's incompetent, all right? She's just, why is she there? You don't know why. But yeah, she's the reason why we have these Wokistanians showing up. Daniel Jose Older used to be an EMT. He got himself involved in activism, and now there he is, writing about Lando Calrissian's package. Yeah, I do too. And of course you keep him. But the rest of them, you get the writers that are still around back. You get the Kevin Andersons, you get oh God, a guy that wrote Todd Winkle's Troy. Shit, I can't remember his last name. Durning. Back. You do something with the Solo origin story. You do something with the Mace Windu Shatterpoint story. You do something with Darth Plagueis. Okay? You do something with the James Luceno books. Okay, Troy Denning. Thanks, Dave. But you get rid of oh, you're right, Mazuris. You're right, and that's true. But you get rid of the Justina Irelands, the Chuck Wendigs, the Claudia Grays, the Daniel Jose Olders, the A.K. Johnstons, and the rest of them. You eat that shit can. Because they're not good writers. They don't understand what they're writing about. They're activists. They're not very good at anything that they're supposed to be doing. And the way you start thinning it out is you get rid of Jennifer Heddle. Okay, you just, she's done. She could find a job somewhere else. She's young. And you get someone in there that is a professional, who doesn't go on Twitter attacking the franchise that you work on, one of the main characters. I mean, it was atrocious. I don't know if Mazars remembers that, But I did a video on her. I was like, what the fuck? You know, she's a bad person. She really, really is. I mean, you know, one of those women when you see her and she starts bitching about men, it's like, how would you know anything about that? There isn't a man alive that would ever touch you, you know? And you realize she's talking about her electric boyfriend. You know, I mean, that's what that is. I mean, but anyway, look, I gotta start dinner. It is 5:22. I've got chicken thawing. I have no idea what I'm gonna make. Wish me luck. Okay, guys, I've been on for 45 minutes, and if you haven't seen Doomcock's latest, go watch it. He attacked his friend. What? Wait, hold it. I'm not going. Okay, Angelique, explain. What the fuck? I'm not going anywhere because I want to hear this. I might do a video on this one. I'm not going anywhere yet, so. He attacked his French translator? Why? Not, why? Because he wasn't black or Latinx or whatever the fuck he calls himself? Okay. Okay, guys, just sit back. Angelique is going to explain. I'm literally like, that's beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful. That is absolutely, oh my God. Well, you know, you're not going to get French, Spanish, or German. Oh my God. I just, this is great. I mean, so basically he attacked the translation of that character. The French language is very definite in its masculine, feminine, neuter nouns. Okay. German is too. Good. They're not gonna. These morons need to stop. You're not gonna change the way people talk, speak those languages. I'm embarrassed. This guy's an American. I'm embarrassed. I mean, these people need to be buttoned up somewhere and hidden from the world. Oh my God. Thank you for telling me that. I'll go look that up later and see if I can find that. I'm laughing too hard right now. You know, you're not going to get them to change. They can't. You change the entire language, the entire structure of the language. It doesn't make any sense to people hearing it then. Oh my God. Anyway, I gotta go. All right, I gotta make dinner. See you guys later. See you around the galaxy. Remember, tip the Wookiee bartenders 20%.